and welcome to The Open Door. We are in the last week of Advent. Christmas is almost here, and I know that everyone is so excited. Maybe some of us are a little stressed out because our to-do list seems ginormous. I get that, and that can be overwhelming and stressful. But my encouragement to you today is to not let all of that overshadow the full week of Advent that we still have left. So my question to you is, how has your Advent been? Has it been spiritually reflective? Has it been as spiritually reflective as you wanted it to be? And I know with me, I suffer from a case called the classic Fizzler. And if you don't know what that is, I'm going to tell you. You know when you take a soft drink and you pour it into a cup, it fizzles, and you know that it's not flat? And that's good. It's good when a Coke isn't flat. But we all know when we take a sip of a Coke that's flat that it is no good. And I tend to be that way. I tend to start off fizzling really strong, and then eventually through the process, I go a little flat. So for Advent, for example, I have all of these ideas of things that I'm going to do to help myself, spiritually speaking, to help this Christmas be the best Christmas that I've had, that it is different from the Christmas before, that there is a new awakening in my soul as Christ takes more and more possession of my heart and my mind. And so I have all of these sort of great spiritual ideas to get me there and to get my family there. And I fizzle. So for the first week of Advent, I do actually a pretty good job. And then after that, sometimes, or most of the time, if I'm going to be honest, it just kind of fizzles. That excitement fizzles. The desire can fizzle. I get so bogged down or overwhelmed with other things that I have to do that I can go spiritually flat. So I have a little show and tell for you. This, I don't know if you can see it. Got it? Is a prayer chain that my family and I started. So we take little slips of paper and we have prayer intentions. So we'll write them down and then we make a little chain out of them and then put them around our Christmas tree. That way on Advent, part of the thing that we want to do is focus on those that we want to pray for. Sounds like a great idea, right? I thought so. But guess how many days we've actually worked on it? Maybe just a few. And it's actually embarrassing to say. But our kids get a lot out of it. We get a lot out of it. But somewhere along the line, it just fizzled. And so, starting today, because I don't want to fizzle, and because this is my message to you, we're going to pick that back up. So when we gather around the dinner table, we're going to do our prayer intentions. We're going to add them to the chain and wrap them around our tree. And my whole point in showing you my show and tell and my sort of embarrassing confession that we have not really followed through with it the way that we should is to hopefully offer you some encouragement that sometimes we do have really great ideas of how to make something more spiritually beneficial for us. And we do really good and we just kind of fizzle in that desire or in our effort to get those things done and accomplished. In this last week of Advent, if you have the first 3 weeks done a really great job and you continue to do a really great job, well done. You are my inspiration. Please leave me a comment and let me know how you get all of that stuff done. If you start off strong and kind of fizzle like me, I encourage you that whatever you started doing today, pick that up and continue it for this very last week. If you haven't really done anything for Advent, I encourage you today to make some sort of spiritual commitment to really making Advent something heartfelt, something spiritual. If you haven't bought an Advent wreath, go buy one and put that out on your table. If you started lighting the candles but you haven't done it every night, then from now until Christmas Day, you light that Advent wreath. If you haven't made quiet time for spiritual reflection or reading of scripture, today make that commitment that from now until Christmas you will do that to prepare your hearts more for Christ. One of the best ways to really prepare for Christ to enter more deeply into our souls is to clean out all of that garbage that we have, all of those bad habits. So one of my suggestions to you is to go to confession if you haven't, because it's really hard to make room for Christ when we have all of these other sinful behaviors, thoughts, or attitudes, or habits that really hinder a growth with Christ. So I know that sometimes when I look at how much longer we have, I'll be like, oh, well, we really don't have that much time left before Christmas, so I'll just do a better Advent next year. And so I encourage you not to be like me. And I encourage you to not just say, you know what, I'm going to do a better job next year. I want you to say, you know what, today I'm going to do a better job. And tomorrow I'm going to do a better job. And you do that for this next full week of Advent that we have left. Prepare your hearts more for Christ to really enter in, to fill you with his joy and his peace, and to allow him to really take hold of your soul. Because when Christ possesses more of your heart and your desire, that leaves little room for your own selfishness and your own will. You then become, possessed by the will of God, and you desire that more and more. And so my words of encouragement to you, and what I'm going to leave you with today, is if you suffer from a classic fizzling like I do, then today, pick up that baton and keep pushing forward. We still have one more week where we can be totally transformed in our spiritual life as we encounter Christmas, so that it can be one of the most joy-filled spiritual Christmases that we have had. So, I want to wish you a very merry last week of Advent. Keep pushing forward, and I will see you next time when it will be Christmas. God bless from the open door.